time it's non-school, direct related, so it's more information for you as educational.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
Did you, let me just give you a hard copy of the agenda. And that way you can kind of follow along.
Thank you.
This will be your spot.
Okay.
And if you ever bring like your Chromebook or something, you can plug it in.
Okay.
I think Maya used to bring his, or I don't know if he did it on his phone, but anyway, he never asked for those.
Okay.
But you can do it whatever you would like. You
Okay.
can, some of the stuff on Board Docs is open to the public, and so the documents, like I'll show you, just kind of a familiarity. And you can get to it. So this is what it looks like, and if it says public content, so you can see it. So like tonight, one of the things in the consent agenda, which they won't really talk about, is our pathway to excellence, which is like our mission, vision, goals, that type of thing.
Okay.
And if it's in the public, then you can actually click on it, and you can see the document.
Okay.
And if you go to the website, and I sent it to you, so you can click on that and it will open the agenda for you. And anything that's public, you can actually follow along in the document. If you don't have that with you, then if you just go to unity1.com, and if you go under the board, and board meeting agendas, and it'll take you right to board docs, and then it comes up.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So, like I say, it's everybody, I really like to do it.
Okay.
At least gives you kind of an overview.
Okay.
But they'll probably hit you right at the beginning of the meeting.
Okay.
After they open
Okay.
and approve the agenda and everything, Brian will introduce you.
Okay.
And then, so let me write your name down so we get it right, so he doesn't like fumble.
Okay.
Just put your name on there and that way he has it. Okay?
Thank you.
Yep. How are you? Tell me how that jam is when you guys.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm right here now. Okay, I'll see you in a little. Okay, bye.
I thought, oh, you better try our sausage.
Yeah, we put them both in the fridge, so we're gonna eat them both.
Good.
All right, thank you.
That jam's in the freezer.
Yeah, she's.
Hey, yeah.
Oh, what do I say?
Anywhere you would like. Are you presenting or doing anything tonight? Or just listening?
Yeah.
You supporting her or?
I am here for student council.
Okay, you can have a front row seat if you like.
Okay.
Or you can move to the back. You know how it is where everybody sits at the back and then the latecomers have to sit at the front? You're the first comer, so you can sit back there and walk up, or you can sit at the
If I
front.
just sit up here.
Chase, this is gonna take a while.
Oh, I can go.
Okay, good. Make sure your phone's charged.
Oh, it's dead. Just kidding.
Oh, I would cry.
Let's go. We got no
Mm-hmm.
one charge.
Well,
Oh, sorry, I was going on Instagram.
no, I'm not gonna get on it. I just wanted my phone to be charged, so if my mom texted.
What you found out? Did you know on low power mode it charges slower?
What?
Yeah.
I did not know that actually. We might.
Yeah, I just posted mine. Oh, I look so bad in that.
You guys know we are live, so like the sound is on.
Okay.
It's gonna be like, what are they doing?
So even though I don't have the mics on, it still carries through the
Okay.
other speakers.
Okay.
Just so you know.
Okay, thank you. Gun. Did you post yours on time? Then take another with me.
I swore I took it on time. I just took like 10 seconds to call.
Oh, maybe it didn't work. Oh, it did.
What did you do today? It was just we had a lot of fun.
I don't know. When are you gonna be able to talk? Take a picture of it so you can have it.
I just had to ask about fireworks. And if it's still cutting its flame, it's kind of...
Yeah, look how long that's gonna take. Like, I don't know when you're gonna
You can.
I'm like the papers one.
Usually
Pictures.
Hayden would sit on the front row.
Yeah, yeah.
And Sheila would also sit up there,
Okay.
so that'd be great.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Oh, you can request an item.
So, I said, I need to talk about my order for fireworks.
Yeah. So they'll be like, does anyone need to like add anything or decline anything? And you'll be like, can I add something? And
Be like, I need to add some firework agendas.
just be like, I was hoping I could get something approved by you guys, and then might take a while.
I'd be like, oh, you guys talking, just like... And then if both feel will be like, so you have to pay for that. If we go that way.
Just be like, well, what are you planning on saying?
Still out.
26. I'm gonna need it later. Okay, well, what are you planning on saying?
I used to just think
Are you gonna run for student body president?
this year.
No, the next, like your senior year. Oh. What? Oh, VP. Oh, I think Colby should be it, and then you can be it. Yeah. What is Easton gonna go? Oh, Easton. No. I mean, Easton would be good at it too, though.
But like, kind of worst.
Tomorrow we should ask Link if during 4th hour, me and you can go out and go to city council. Because I didn't do that tonight. I had golf.
I was about to go, and then I was like,
So maybe,
like during school.
like, get school excused during 4th.
I have to send an email tonight.
Link?
Like,
I don't
it's fine. If you get any of these guys, are you personally friends with any of them?
That's Ethan's mom.
Dude, I'm personally friends with them.
I know too. Janice was my coach.
I love cattle, kid.
And this is Ethan's mom. Ethan's mom, my boyfriend. I kind of have to go.
Go.
Where is it?
Oh, I just had some guys that were like, some guys that upstairs to the left.
And it would just be really cool.
Oh, thank you so much. Where they're always.
Oh, great, perfect, thank you.
I already got a picture of this.
I need my motions and.
Everybody good? You need an agenda? You need an agenda? I have one.
I was doing Jade episodes. I got the last 3 days of that. I could just forgive sins. I legitimately have to
So, Sharon's my uncle, and I'm on to Emily, Dennis, and Jessica.
Okay.
So my grandparents. Okay.
I know your dad and your grandpa.
Which one? Okay.
Yes.
Oh,
Your grandpa worked here.
he's never told me about that. I'm just asking about it. That's a long time. I can't read lips.
Ask.
What? Ask for fireworks.
And then they use it right away.
Ask her right now if you firework, if you can add it.
We can't, but what you can do is, what is it that you want?
Fireworks.
Let's do this. We'll have to just amend the agenda.
Right. Right. Yeah, because that's a major
Yeah, after the football game.
There's such a difference between just gonna stop.
Okay, I'll talk to them about it.
But they can
Thank you.
Suggest that to them. Thank you.
the standard must take you. I do.
I agree.
But me and my brother, he was
Zero. No, she said I was smoking. She was like, these pictures are just like
Yeah.
it's just like
Sure, yeah. Right.
As a teacher, what's up with you? I think like in the every module. All right, well, we're supposed to run this
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
I don't know.
Welcome.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good.
How are you?
Well, hello.
Hi. Hi, Betsy.
Welcome.
Probably grab something.
I finally saw Dad here a little bit ago. Yeah. Oh, jeez. He hadn't changed a bit.
Yeah, so
I tell you, he's a breath
have
of
Ryan
fresh air.
do it, and then I'll make the motion to it.
He gets 1 year older, he gets.
Oh, I bet. And your mother probably gets more frustrated.
Yes. No, but we need to keep on because
Hi.
you just let it slide and they're gonna brush it under the carpet.
Lower the boom. No, I know. I bet we're hot.
I was getting a little hot.
No, you're right.
Hello.
Dave, he said he can do it, we don't have to do that.
Oh, okay. We don't need to make a.
No, it's not important. And if you want.
No. You're just gonna go through. You can just handle it through yourself then. We don't need to get approval through the board.
Letter I sent back and that's.
So it brings up a discussion. What are we gonna do in the future after those white things go up?
We'll have to make some different choices.
Yeah. Maybe we can get some permission from Paxton to go up.
Yeah.
What? Alrighty, it is 6:06, and I need to call to order tonight's board meeting. So I need to have a motion to go into the Uena County School District Number 1 board meeting, today, September 12th.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and I have a second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Motion carries. We all please rise and say pledge of allegiance. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Fantastic. But I think we're going to have to make a rule. Well, there's nobody in these chairs, and I've got all the principals and stuff way out and back, and I can't see. So I think if nobody's here, we need to file towards the front. What do you think?
That'd be tough.
I think so.
Sure called, bud.
Yeah. So, what I need is I need a motion to approve tonight's agenda. If there's any amendments that need to be made to that agenda, we need to do so now, and if not, then I need a motion to approve said agenda.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve said agenda as presented.
I have a motion, and I have Brian's second. Is there any discussion? No discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? No opposition. Ayes have it, motion carries. Okay, now I need a motion to approve the consent agenda. Items A, B, C, and D. Item A, the minutes. B, the payments of bills. C, the pathway to excellence strategic plan. And D, to approve the SPED-related service contracts.
Mr. Chairman, so moved.
I have a motion.
Second that motion.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Fantastic. All right, Mr. Thomas.
Well, I'm going to start. We do have a new face on the board. We'd like to welcome Allie. I'm going to let her introduce herself.
Okay.
Allie, tell us a bit about yourself, kind of where you are in school, kind of what your plans are. It's kind of quiet up here, so go ahead.
I'm Allie Sanchez. I'm the student body president at Evanston High School. I'm a senior this year, and my plans are kind of unknown right now for after high school, but yeah.
College of some sort, I'm sure.
College of some sort, yes.
So, Allie, when you want to express an opinion, please just make sure that the chairman knows, and we would love to hear your opinions whenever you feel comfortable with those, okay?
You might be recognized whether you want to be or not at times, too.
Yeah, you'll be asking questions occasionally.
So, a little bit, student body president, any extracurricular activities? What do you like? Let's get to know you a little bit.
Okay, I also dance and I golf, and I'm on NHS, so.
Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Anybody else have
And
questions
she
for him?
dates my son, so I kind of,
Okay.
at least for now.
No pressure. All right, thank you.
Is Summer here? No. Well, it is my pleasure to present Teacher of the Year, David Day. Mr. Day, will you please come up? Woo! So just a little bit about the process. What we do is we have nominations at the end of the year. Nominations are discussed by committee. The committee happens to be our administrative team. And David was selected. It's quite an honor, and I can tell you that he's well-deserved. So David, what I'd like you to do is just kind of introduce yourself, tell them what you teach, how many years you've been in the district, kind of what you got going. Okay.
So David Day, I moved here in 2004, and I started teaching ESL, and I've been there ever since. I've got 20 years under my belt teaching ESL, and I love it. Mostly at North. I've moved from school to school, especially if we have newcomers. I'll work with them wherever they're at. I did that for several years. But now we have enough ESL teachers that I stay mostly at North Elementary, and I really enjoy it there. What else? I think that's about it. I have 3 wonderful kids. I'm married to Liberty Prophet Day, married to Liberty. We have a 3rd grader at North. We have a sophomore who runs cross country, and then my oldest, Deggery, he was student body president a couple years back, and he's studying in Provo. He just got back from Argentina. So yeah.
So a big hand for Mr. Day.
Thank you.
You're welcome to stick around if you want, but
So I also teach at BOCES in the evenings, and I've got 10 adults waiting there for me, so I'm going to...
Okay.
You gotta go.
Okay.
Yep.
Thanks for
Thank you,
coming.
Mr.
Thank you.
Thanks, dude.
So now the presentation we're down to is state accountability scores. If you recall, state accountability is one of the board and district goals, and this is, I think, the first time that the information has been, what do they call that? Unembargoed,
Yeah.
so you can present it publicly. So Assistant Superintendent Rigby is willing to provide this training for us, and it's
Okay. All right. So, hopefully you'll be able to see. Do you want to swing that around? Is that what you're?
No. I want you to come up.
Oh, okay. All right.
That's just the computer.
So I'm trying to stand next to a mic. I'm not very good at sitting down, especially when I'm talking about stuff. So the school performance reports, I'm going to go over just kind of the overview. This is what they are. This is how the breakdown looks, okay? Mr. Day's not here. I'm going to point him out in a positive way. But what is school accountability, right? So you have the Wyoming Accountability and Education Act, which is the statute that says that all schools will have these performance reports. And so there's basically 4 performance levels. You have exceeding expectations, which is what we want to eventually get to, meeting expectations, partially meeting expectations, and not meeting expectations. So you can see each one of those. Those are the 4 different levels. Each school, right, receives a rating based on 4 different factors. Those factors are achievement, growth. So do students grow from one year to the next? So when they take the YTOP assessment, did each student grow, right, from the previous year, right? And they have a formula that they use to measure that. Equity. So equity students are students that score in the bottom 25% as a scale score on the test, right? So a 6th grade math student, you have a range of scale scores, right? And so the bottom 25%, if you score in that bottom 25%, you're considered what's called an equity student, okay? And it's not our bottom 25%, right? So EMS, let's say there's 100 kids per grade, you don't have 25 kids. You may have 10 and you may have 50. Right? It's based on your scale score. And then English learner progress. So what Mr. Day was talking about, that's kind of his world, right? Students that, when parents fill out the registration on PowerSchool, if they put any language spoken in the home other than English, they automatically go to English language learner and they get tested to see if they need support in that area. So this is what it looks like. I chose this one because as principals, I guarantee you when those reports come out, this is the first thing that they're looking for, right? What color am I, right? Or what color is my school, right? So this is the first page of that, and everybody's looking at the color, okay? But you can see, right, so if you look at the cut score, right, the weighted average, you want to be above a 1.8 to be at least meeting expectations. All right, those are the cut scores for each of the different levels, okay? So when you think about accountability, this is the report that shows where your school actually falls. So in this example, for this school, and I can't even remember which school this is, but you're really actually evaluated not only on the Wyoming accountability, but you're also given a score for ESSA, which is the federal accountability, right? So under the Every Student Succeed Act, right? So you have federal accountability, state accountability. State accountability is sometimes more rigorous than the federal accountability, right? The state of Wyoming has set it up that way. In other areas, it's less, right? So when we talk about alternative schools, I'll show you an example of how Wyoming, right, considers alternative schools different. The feds do not, right? They treat them as like every other high school. So there's an example where the state of Wyoming has a higher expectation, right? So this school meets the target in the Wyoming system, but is above the average or exceeding the target in the federal accountability. So when we look at the performance category cut scores, right? So what you see, right, is that for growth, schools need to be, I think this is elementary and middle schools. Those look familiar, elementary and middle school folks?
Those are middle schools.
Okay. So elementary and middle school have the same cut scores, all right? So you can see that Davis Middle School on growth is at a 51, Evanston Middle School is at a 56, which falls in the range between 48 and 60, right? That's how those are calculated. All right, you can see the same thing with equity, right? Between 48 and 60. What's Evanston Middle School was very close to hitting the exceeding targets in terms of equity students. Achievement, there, again, you can see Davis Middle School, very high in achievement. ELP, right, that's the English language learners. And what's interesting is it doesn't show the number of actual kids. Evanston Middle School has a higher number of ESL students, significantly higher. Davis, there's very few, right? So you say 0%, that may be 0% out of 3 kids, right? Or 4 kids. So you think about equality of scale when you look at those numbers, okay? All right, so high school, Evanston High School. You add 4 or 3 new categories. You add graduation rate, you add post-secondary readiness, and 9th grade credit accrual, okay? So those are 3 additional indicators that can, elementary and middle schools are not expected to meet, okay? Alternative schools, you can see, again, there's a change. Oops, sorry. You have, instead of 9th grade credits, you have grade 9, 10, 11 credits, all right? And then they also have a school climate component for alternative schools, all right? And you look at Horizons data. Sorry, I kind of skipped through EHS. Those are the scores for Evanston High School. So you can see growth. We need to be between 49 and 60, and we were at 44. Equity, 49 and 60, we're at 45. Achievement, we were able to meet the achievement goal. English as a second language, not so much. Graduation rate we hit, post-secondary readiness we hit, and grade 9 credits we hit. And then there's the example from the alternative school. College and career readiness, we're exceeding at Horizon, as well as the total number of credits. The elementary schools, okay? You can see their numbers, their scores, right? So you can see their growth scores, you can see their equity scores, achievement, as well as English language. That number, sorry David, I hope I'm not blinding you there, right? That's David Day, right? You can attribute some of that to David Day, right? Those extremely high numbers in ELP at North Elementary. They have extremely high numbers of ESL students, and they have extremely high rates of success in getting those students to be able to speak the language well enough to pass the access test. Okay? If the school is green, that means they're meeting targets. If they're orange, that means that they are partially meeting expectations. So as you go through the schools, you have North and Uinta Meadows that are partially, and Evanston High School that are partially meeting. The other schools are meeting expectations. So in talking to Mr. Thomas, and I'm not sure if Dr. Ingalls talked to the elementary about this yet or not, but what we would like to do is invite the principals and or parts of their representatives from their guiding coalition to come up and share with you at a future board meeting their school goals. And if they're partially meeting, what are they looking at? What is their plan to address those areas that we're partially meeting? Any questions?
Chairman Peterson, if I may, just a little bit more about the test. Our goal, of course, is to have all our schools meeting or exceeding expectations. That's the board's goal. The district's goal and the building's goals reference these, and that's how they develop their goals. So depending on where they are. The challenge with this test, and I'm not being critical, I'm just being honest, is if you have high growth one year, you're going to struggle the next year. And that's what we see. It is truly a moving target. These schools that partially meet were meeting last year. The way they weight those categories is unique. If you noticed, I think it was North was in the green except for achievement. Achievement scored higher, so that kicks into the partially meeting categories. But still, our expectation is we're all green, and that's our goal. But it's a moving target. Achievement is truly critical, And remember, this doesn't follow the kids through the system. This is a shot at certain grade levels. So as kids move, they're not tested. So it's a challenge there too. But proud of what we do. We can always get better, and that's kind of what we've said. Is we'll continue to work on those areas that we need to. And each school will be prepared to kind of share with you what they're doing to raise those expectations in the future. We thought that would be beneficial in addition to the PLC work that we do. Any questions, comments about those scores? By the way, Joel is on with us now. You are there, right, Joel?
Yep, I'm here.
All right, okay.
Alrighty, I guess we're done with presentations. We can move on to discussion items now, so.
Mr. Peterson, we will start with Mr. Dennis. Dome and summer project update.
Chairman Peterson, members of the board, put this up here.
Yeah.
You want to call some tech support? Maybe I can get somebody who knows what they're doing. That'll be good. So, to keep this board meeting moving along, we're going to use this right here. So just kind of quickly, there's been a lot that's happened, especially in the last 14 days up at the high school with our domes. All the grub work has been done. They've dug out 90% of the footings. And I'll show you some pictures here. This happens to be the first picture I took. This is actually the new pad for our 30 by 30 shed, equipment shed. They've got the rebar laid and poured the cement earlier this week. So that's all done. This kind of gives you an idea of the footings that were done. These are some big areas cleared out, which is really great. And then all the rebar in the ground. Today was the day that they actually formed up the walls on the first dome, which is, we call it Dome 2, which is closest to the high school itself. So all the walls were poured today with the anchor bolts put in. We will let that sit now for the next 5 days to kind of cure before we start doing the backfill. This section here is actually the section that faces towards the football field and the scoreboard. So there'll be electrical line that goes in here, the gas lines for both the HVAC units that go through here, and then the gas line for the shed. So there'll be a lot of stuff. So they'll bring 8 inches of fill in, and then they'll bring some sand, then they'll put those on, then they'll do some more sand, then some crushed base on top of that, get that up to top, and be able to have that from there. On the inside, naturally, they'll be working on all the conduits for the floors. We've got all the lighting, the low voltage that comes in, so they'll be getting all of those conduits in the floor, and then they've already done their blockouts in the walls, so they can push those conduits out to their units there. So a lot of work, like I mentioned, has gone on. You can see those are the main conduits that come from our new utility area all the way across the first dome that then extends to our first utility pad and then extends into the next set of domes. So very aggressive group. If all goes well and the last of our electrical components come in, these domes will be aired up by Thanksgiving. So And at this point in time, I think they can hit that deadline. They've been moving right along. What they'll do, as I mentioned today, they formed up the walls, so they'll be stripping those off tomorrow, and they'll be starting the footings and foundation for Dome 1. Today's Tuesday, so probably Wednesday and Thursday, starting to get those. So a lot of cement's going in the ground. So far, we've poured over 200 yards of cement. So, questions on the domes?
That's exciting.
It is really exciting. A lot of great work going on, and been some great, they brought a lot of workers, which has been good to see. And they've been staying on their time schedule. They've worked really, really well with Sage Electric, and being able to partner with them. And so all the trades are working really closely together with everything. So
who's keeping track of as-built according to what you're building? So obviously, everything's going underground. Any variations from what may be off of design to any routing of stuff?
if there's any variation, like with Sage Electric, they're keeping track of their own as-builts and then red lines on that. Right now, they haven't had any variations. And then IPW will do any change order or changes with the as-builts with
And then
the
they will
gas
send that to you at
lines.
the end.
And then they'll send that to us at the end. Right now, nothing has changed, but we're still early in the game. So, but that's one thing I've asked, is just basically, especially anything that's, because there is a lot covered and a lot buried. All of the stuff, if we go back, especially where our gas lines are, and our electrical lines there, electrical already has kind of trace wire just being with electricity, but our gas lines will have trace wire and tape, which is something we're just requiring moving forward. Anything that we put in utility-wise, we're just
I know
putting
we've
trace
struggled
wire.
with things that we put in the past. That's why I was just asking to make sure 20 years down the road, because right now you think you can remember it.
And lots of pictures
Okay.
of the same thing. But big thing is just, up-to-date as-built and then the trace wire, and that helps immensely. For those of you who've ever dealt with utilities, if you've got utilities that have trace wire on it, it makes it so much easier to locate. If you don't, you're scratching your head and going, now, who was it who put this in back in 1983? How did they route that? What's going on there? So, just an update, another big project that's starting next week will be our transportation lifts. We're hoping, right, Travis? Travis and his crew has been cleaning out the 3 areas where those lifts are going. Like I said, if everything goes well, they're going to start to take out the old ones starting next Monday, and getting that all cleaned out for the new ones. They tell us that by end of Thanksgiving, 1st of December, the lifts will be completed and ready to use. So in the meantime, we've been going back and forth. We're going to bring in some portable lifts, one set of portable lifts, so that we at least have something for our mechanics out there, similar to what the highway department has. And so working on finalizing that, but we'll have a set of portable lifts for our buses out there. So that's a huge project. Doesn't seem like a big project, but it's a really important project. And I know Travis and his crew are super excited to be able to have those finalized and in and have working lifts again. They have been without a lift now for 3 months.
How many are you putting in?
3. We're going to replace all 3 of them.
All 3, okay.
Yep.
Who's the contractor, Jared?
That one, Northwest, Northwest. So they're out of Salt Lake, but yet out of Washington State.
Okay.
So, super excited about that. Just kind of finalizing DMS carpets all in. We are going to do kind of a new logo in the walk-off carpet as you come in there. I don't know, if you haven't been in Davis, we put a lot of walk-off carpet right there. We're actually going to put their little Davis Demon logo into that carpet. That's going to come in, and they'll be swapping that top floor a different direction to make it look a little bit better. UME Clark cement repairs have been completed. We'll be finalizing a shed over there at Clark. Aspen and Clark modulars. If you haven't had a chance, those turned out really, really nice. The new decking and awning. I know both Steve and Kimber have appreciated that, and I'm looking forward to winter where they don't have to shovel that area off. UME interior door locks are all done. And then, as we mentioned, we've got our transportation lift. So there's been a lot going on, as well as the last little bit of our security project. And so probably maybe next board meeting, spend some time in maybe executive session just to kind of show you some things with that, which would be good.
So I have a question, Jaron. What are you doing in your spare time?
It's a great question. I try to utilize what time I have between 1 in the morning and 4, so.
Pesky hours,
Yeah.
you're just sleeping anyway.
So, just appreciate all your support and help. We wouldn't be able to do all these projects without all the support, and especially our administrators and our teachers' support as we, sometimes have to be in classrooms after hours to kind of finalize some things. So really do appreciate everything that we've been able to do.
Jim, are you going to try to do anything with the fascia, or whatever you want to call it, in front of the high school that's coming off in places? Because I get lots of remarks about, why aren't we fixing everything else going on?
So
Which needs a little help.
we've got, I've got 2 companies looking at that. What we're probably going to do next summer, depending on where those prices come in, the wood idea lasted for as long as it lasted, but we're probably going to come in with an EFS or a stucco and do that. Now, the caveat will be is we won't be able to have it red because within a year it'll turn red to pink. So we'll probably just go a neutral color, kind of a sand. And so all of that red wood that's deteriorating and coming off will probably just stucco. And that's going to last.
It'll go on.
It'll go orange or pink really, really fast, and then we don't want to be known as the Pink Devils. Unless the board would like us to go that direction, then I'd... No. So, but yes, it's been something that, especially a lot more noticeable come August, a lot more things. I think that rain and that moisture's done a lot to swell that wood and push that up. So definitely a project for next summer to take care of. So, any other questions?
Major maintenance paying for that?
Major maintenance will pay for that.
So I have one question before you leave.
Yeah.
When is our year up on our field, and when does your warranty stop on our field? Has it been implemented yet? Has it started yet? When is the completion of it? When do we have to have a final walkthrough to make sure that everything is okay before we accept something and walk away from it?
So we will do our final walkthrough. In fact, I talked to Jed last week. Dan, you've kind of visited with him, and he's hoping in the next 2 weeks we can come up. Final would be October. They kind of finalized everything in end of September, so that'll be, end of September, 1st of October will be our year mark with everything.
So at that point, it is done. So if we don't identify any issues, if there's no issues, we don't get it fixed, end of September is it.
Yep.
So we're down to 2 weeks. Okay, have we identified anything that may be of concern? We got any concrete breaking? We got anything that's slipping? Do we have anything?
I haven't noticed any concrete breaking. I will tell you that concrete does move. When they talk about post-tension concrete and its movement, it has moved probably over 2 inches, shifted from east to west and moved, or north to south, and moved about 2 inches more northwards. And so that entire track actually moved just like it was supposed to, moved right along its edges. So,
Jaron, I was at the last game and I noticed there's an area where you can go into the stands, and right in front of that, there's a big void that's concreted in, but there's no steps.
yeah, that's called the kids' play area.
Well, it's a place. If you walk into it, didn't know it was there.
That,
Covering that, or what?
Kay Dumpert is working on steps for us that will make our approach from our landing at the concrete down to our new bleacher area. So yeah, that's another thing that is finishing this week. They're actually putting the seating on our new bleacher area. If you haven't seen that, that's turned out super nice, those new aluminum bleachers. And so, but yeah, Kay Dumpert is working on putting the,
Okay.
some
So you're aware
stairs.
of that. Is that on both ends or all the way
Both ends,
across?
both ends.
Just both ends, okay.
Yep.
I saw that, I'm going, well, that could be a liability right there. That is.
Yep. One thing Darren and I talked about is, if you notice the new additions have the fence on the back,
Mhm.
I think we need to go all the way down with
Yep,
that. I
yep.
can't believe we haven't had someone fall backwards. Go under the bleachers.
Because that's rounded off.
Yeah,
And you
so
just saw that
I think we're
really-
gonna put it back on the rest. We can figure out how to do it. Good. Not sell the farm.
Yeah.
Try to match that on the back just as well as the front. I really liked what they did on the new ones with the front with the chain link fence and kind of do the same thing. So,
Yeah. Okay.
but turned out really nice.
Walking by the front of the shed, did we ever get that void filled with any kind of expansion?
That's our
material?
responsibility. I was actually talking to Boyd the other day about that. Said we've got to get this taken care of, so we're going to have that taken care of before winter
Okay.
with that.
But like I said, that's the only thing I know that the warranty was going to be close, and we just need to make sure that if there is some issues that we paid for the warranty,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, we did.
we did.
paid for the warranty. So if there's anything that looks like it is not up to what we're expecting, then there needs to be a discussion with the company.
If there's anything that you guys see while you're there too, maybe the next ball game, take a look at that, let us know so that we can address that with Jed and go through that. So overall, I'm really pleased. I've heard a lot of great comments from individuals who've come for the first time to see our new facility, and they've just really dumbfounded at how beautiful and how well it turned out. So, how about from our students? Are they excited about that new area?
Yeah, I think a lot of us like it a lot more, so yeah, it's good.
And looking forward to these new domes for some
yeah.
more space.
I think a lot of us are excited, especially the teams that aren't able to practice all the time with so many sports, so I think it will be nice.
Awesome, awesome. Anything else?
Thank you, sir.
And I'll see you in a few minutes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Continue?
You're
Chairman Peterson, what we have next is policy JFGA. If you remember, we tabled that last month, and I was asked to go back to the policy and add a definition for school day. We had school year, so I added the definition of school day as any day identified on the official school calendar, Monday through Friday, as a contact day for students and staff. School day also includes scheduled practices Monday through Friday for an activity that begins before the first day of classes in the fall. I think it clears up any ambiguity, however you say it,
Ambiguity.
ambiguity, there you go.
So I'm going to throw a kink in that.
Okay?
So defined as a school day, Monday through Friday during the school year, right? Is that what that read? If we are on break over Christmas, over Thanksgiving, does that still define as a school day?
I thought about that, and I thought the last sentence kind of takes care of that, is Monday through Friday for an activity that begins before the first day of classes. I didn't put an ending date, so I think it ends in the school year. We did talk about that, and it is in the policy that if it includes practices that are mandatory practices during Christmas break or spring break.
Fall break.
Yeah.
Okay,
So it's in there right now.
okay, all right.
So we recommend when we get to that point that we approve that policy as amended.
Underneath the action items.
Yep.
Okay.
Any questions? We'll move on to the next one. Rocky Mountain Power easement. Mr. Dennis, he said he'd be right back.
He said he's going to come in. I'm surprised he did just sit down there.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board,
what we have before you is our Rocky Mountain Power easement. I know in our last session, we talked about looking at 2 easements, but due to some other things that we're working on at Red Devil Ranch, we're going to table that one. So what you have right now is the one for Evanston High School that basically takes us from Cheyenne Drive up through the Jock Lot, up the backside, and into that utility area. It was interesting, as I spent 2 hours at the county today. The only utility that has an easement with us right now is the gas company, and it's not our current gas company, it's the one for the 2 gas lines on the south corner, over there on the corner of Bodine and Twin Ridge.
Petroleum and then the gas line.
So what this does is actually allows Rocky Mountain access through our property and then an easement within that utility area there. So are there any questions or concerns with this easement?
So they use that access to get into that, if they have to dig it up, they do so, and then they put it back in. Right?
So the one thing I didn't look at, how wide is that easement? Because of the restrictions you have as far as building anything on it, or flammable or anything else?
Most of everything I did was in the roadway, so it was the easement of the roadway, except for where it comes on our property a little bit, then it's 10 feet.
So in the roadway, they got full width? Are we going to have any conflicting utilities with that easement?
We will probably, it'll be I guess what I would call a joint utility easement, where you're going to have, you know, as we look at our new water line that'll hopefully next summer go through there, we'll turn that over to the city. It'll be just a joint utility easement. Is that what that would be considered, Jeff? A joint utility easement, basically?
Yeah, I know what it's
Something.
called.
But, yeah. Okay. Questions?
I hate these easements.
I was gonna say, we don't have any choice.
I know you have.
After spending,
That's what I was just asking,
Yeah.
because if there's multiple utilities that we have to run through there, if it is an easement that is granted to all utilities, as in a subdivision, then you're fine. But if it's specifically to a power company and to them, that we're granting a utility easement for a power line that is 25 foot wide, then we might have a discussion when we decide to run a water line next to the power line, or if we run a fiber optic line down through there in that easement. So when we go through and we do a wide band of an easement that's defined to just one utility company instead of to all utility companies. So before we approve that, I don't know, that's on the legal end of it. If we go through and just grant an easement to Rocky Mountain Power that's 25 feet wide, do they have the rights at that point of any other utility running through that easement that we granted to them?
I'd have to defer to Jeff. I don't think they would. I think if there was anything that came into play, we could come back.
That's where I go back to from before.
Yeah, so.
But that's what I go back to again, is we're assuming, and you're saying, well, I don't think anybody's going to have an issue with it until all of a sudden you decide you're going to run a utility through there, and they say, wait a second.
That's our easement.
That's our easement.
Yeah.
We can find out.
Okay. So that, I hate to be the guy that brings up this stuff, but I just don't want to face issues in the future if we're just giving them a wide width of our property for an easement.
Carte blanche.
Yeah.
So in that, like I said, I think I described a 10-foot easement throughout along our road through the Jock Lot and through the backside.
So it is 10 foot, clearly defined, 10 foot wide.
You want to see the picture?
Well, I seen the picture, but the picture doesn't give you the dimensions.
Picture.
I would have to sit down and write it up.
You'd have to read the
Yeah.
jargon that I spent 4 hours going through. And thank you, Jeff. Those easement latitude, longitudes, those are a lot of fun. So,
Meets and bounds, yes.
yeah. So, 10 foot till we get up to the utility area, and then it's a 10 by 20 foot area with what we have up there.
Okay. And that's just what, I'm just, as I was going through it, I didn't have anything to to write it up to figure the width of the thing, so that's why I was just kind of asking how wide that was.
Good question.
No. Okay.
Any other questions on that easement?
All right.
Okay. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Moving forward, Chairman Peterson, members of the board, the next item is D, and it's to request a possible date change for the November 14th board meeting. Specifics, I'm president of WASA, which is the superintendent's organization. We have the pleasure, burden, whatever you want to call it, of selecting a new executive director. Kevin Mitchell's retiring. Interviews are on that night. So I request that we move that board meeting to the 7th of November, if that works.
Move it from the 7th to the 14th.
Move it to the 14th, to the 7th. It's on the 14th
It's on
now.
the 14th now, move it from the 14th to the 7th.
That's also the week of Wyoming School Boards, so some of you hopefully will be attending Wyoming School Boards the week of the 14th. So. I don't have it as an action item. I just want to get your feelings. If that'll work, I'll put it as an action item next month.
That'll work.
I think everybody's okay except for Mr. Joe Weidrich. He's the one that seems to struggle the most.
I think we lost Joel.
Oh, okay, so I can't even give him a bad time.
Oh, he's good with that.
Oh, okay.
So let's give us to Weaver. Do that.
You could let one of your assistants do it. Be good for them.
Need to be here and there. That's why we need to change it.
We'll just change it.
All right.
You're next. Discussion item E is trademark E. Mr. Phillips.
Today, I received an email from the law firm that we retain to help us trademark the E, and good news, we are officially trademarked. We have 5 key actions that we need to take, and I have not had the chance to talk to our superintendent or any of our administration about this, including Jaron, but these are the 5 actions. Use the R symbol. It is essential to display the R symbol next to your trademark. This indicates that it is a registered trademark and can discourage potential infringers. And I don't know if where on our E we'll want to put that, or if we'll want to ask the graphic design class at the high school to help us. I don't know. That's something that we'll work on. We just found out today. But moving forward, we'll need that R symbol on everything. T-shirts, all of it. I know we don't have it on a lot now, which I think is okay. But if over time we could add that, that would be good. It's important that we notify others that we do have our E trademarked.
So I guess that comes back to the question of Varsity Inc. and everybody else. They will have to know that that has to be on there. So any logos or anything that they have right now will have to be modified to...
Yeah, and our local people, I think, will be easy. It's the Walmarts and the others that may be a bit more challenging. And I'm not sure how we work with Walmart and those guys.
Hopefully your other 4 tell us how.
Yeah, I don't know. This is new territory for me as well. If you plan to advertise or sell goods in another country, consult with us to obtain trademark registration there. I don't think that's going to be a problem. Or close ties to China.
We do want to be global competitors.
Yeah, I don't know that one's going to be an issue. That one made me laugh. Monitor for infringers. Keep an eye out for any potential trademark infringement by others. Our firm can assist you by providing an extra layer of vigilance to protect your mark. I'm sure there's a fee associated with that. I don't know if that's necessary. I think we just kind of keep an eye on it. More than anything, like Dan mentioned at the very beginning, we're mostly concerned that someone else doesn't come in and tell us that we can't use our E. And I think we've accomplished that. Stay in touch and keep us updated. Please keep your contact information up to date with us. I don't think our contact information is going to change. Although there is the possibility that our trademark usage may change. We'll just keep an eye on that. I can do that, I think, for the most part, in just watching how we use our E as a school district as far as our activities are concerned. To maintain your trademark registration, you must file maintenance documents between the 5th and 6th year, and every 10 years thereafter, our team will reach out to let you know of this upcoming deadline as long as we have your current contact information. So we'll rely on them to let us know, and then I'll make sure that we file what we need to file to maintain our trademark. Since the United States Patent and Trademark Office no longer issues paper certificates, let us know if we want a paper certificate or a certified copy for our records. I don't know if that's necessary, but if the board wants that, I can certainly reach out to them and let them know.
I would like to see a certified copy.
Yeah, there's a link in the email, and I meant to print that, but since we received this at around noon today, I didn't get that to Sherry in time, and that's my fault. But it shows a picture of the E that's registered, along with our registry and the number and everything else. So I'll make sure that you get that in particular, Dan, and then we can order the paper certificate as well.
Sounds great.
But this is great news. Our next step, the most important thing will be to get the R on that, and I don't know, like I said, how we want to do that, but we can talk about that. I think having high school help would be a great way to do it. So, questions, concerns? This is great news.
Places like Varsity Ink and the embroidery shop and stuff, do they just have to get like our permission to use it, or are they just gonna come and ask for permission? We're not charging them or anything,
No.
are we? Okay.
All they need to do is put the R on there, and we're good to go.
Yeah, the main reason was large corporations probably more than anything, but the number one reason is so someone couldn't come in and say.
And take ours.
Yeah, our Devil Head, they came in and said, you can't use that. I don't know who it was.
Blue Devils.
Yeah, the Blue Devils.
Arizona, Sun Devils.
Sun Devils.
Arizona State Sun Devils.
Yeah, that's who it was.
Yeah, they came in and shut us down, and that's when we came up with the E, which I think is a really clever logo. Plays off of our the E at the beginning there, so. This is great news. Dan, great work in putting this together. Really appreciate it, and I think it's a good thing for our school district.
Good, thank you.
Okay, thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Yeah, great.
All righty, I think that ends our discussion items, unless you have something else, Ryan.
No.
Nothing? So now we will open up to public comments. So if anybody from the public wants to comment, please step forward and state your name and your address.
Okay.
Seeing no takers.
Crickets.
Those Chase watches, I already passed it off.
Yeah, passed it off.
We wouldn't put that on Chase.
All righty. So I guess one of the things is we're talking about, and maybe we'll talk about it real quick, is just the fireworks, getting permission to go, and then Ryan said that he will handle that just internally so we can have fireworks at homecoming this year. The thing that we have coming in the future, though, because of the domes, we'll probably have to look at changing locations of where we're going to let them fireworks off.
Yep.
They were pretty cool being up on the top of that field just because of the location, but we don't want to burn down our domes. That would be a bad thing.
Sure sounds an adventure.
No. Yeah. Fun spoiler. So. All righty. No public comments. We'll move on to our action items. So we do not have any personnel items today, so we can skip through A. Next thing we need to do on our action items is I need a motion to approve the transportation compliance approvals.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the transportation compliance approvals.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Yes, second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussions? No discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Next, item C, I need a motion to approve the contract extension for Blacks Forks Physical Therapy. I need a motion to approve.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make that motion to extend the contract for Blacks Fork PT.
I have a motion.
I'll second that motion.
I have a second. Any discussions? I feel like there's things that we're going through right now that people aren't fully aware of, so please, if you're not aware of what's going on, let's discuss it before we vote on
Yes,
this thing,
please.
so.
If I may, Chairman,
Go ahead.
just kind of an update on the next two. We kind of debated what we do with the physical therapy contract. This is a pretty neat service for our students, our student athletes. It provides free services and also additional support at our games and activities. So Black Sports has done an amazing job. The kids, I don't know if they enjoy going to them, but it is a service that provides to our students and parents. It's a good companion with our athletic trainer. I think at the little expense, it makes sense that we go ahead and do this again.
And I've seen them at the game.
Yes.
So, and then when we've had somebody go down, I've seen both of them there, and they've been right over on top of it, so
And with the
fantastic job.
athletic trainer, this is a 2-year contract, so we felt it needed to come back instead of just renewing the original contract last year.
Yeah, so we'll get to the trainer in just a second, but right now it's just a Black
Yeah,
Sport
I just didn't
therapy.
want to have to come back.
Come back and revisit that, so anyway.
Probably
Okay.
be good, Chairman Peterson, to get Ally's input on this.
Go ahead. I told you you're going to be called upon.
I definitely think that both of these things are a good thing for our school. I know that one time for dance, I hurt my back and I was able to go into Jackie's office and she was able to look at it and she just told me that I needed to rest, and she gave me this tape thing and it helped. So I do believe that it's a good thing to have them around.
Fantastic. So, any more discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Next on the action items is a contract extension for the athletic trainer. I need a motion to approve that contract.
Mr. Chairman, I move. Sorry.
Jenny?
Move, second?
Yep. Sounds good.
Move or second? Whatever, okay. So, I have a motion and I have a second. Any discussions?
Yes,
Go ahead.
I saw our athletic trainer, Jackie, this afternoon, and she said if we approve this, that she wanted to extend her thanks. She was not able to be here, but thank you.
Okay. I gotta tell you, that was a find. I mean, she's bubbly, she's fun, I think she gets along with everybody, and she knows her stuff, so perfect fit for our system, and I think we did a good job. It was nice holding off till we found her, so.
I did have a coach tell me while we were out on the field, said, "This field's pretty impressive, I love it, but the best thing you guys did last year was to put Jackie in."
So she was worth the $3+ million, so?
Yeah.
Okay.
You might want to clarify that.
No, we're not paying her, that was what the field was, but if she's equivalent to that worth, then, so, okay, that's the clarification.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. So, any more discussion? None? So, I have a motion and I have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Motion carries. I heard that delay. Nice job, Joel. Okay, next on the agenda on the action item E, I need to approve the second reading of the JFGA, which is the drug testing policy.
I have one quick question before we go that route.
Okay.
May I?
Oh, yeah, we can.
Okay. I just want to clarify, they are not testing for performance-enhancing drugs.
No.
Okay, just needed that clarification because the way the wording was somewhat confusing to me. It seemed like that's what it said, but I just wanted to clarify. So I'm good. You may proceed.
Okay.
If I may, Chairman,
Go
the panels that are screened, we can get a wide variety of different panels that screen for different substances, but we don't screen for performance-enhancing drug. To pin it to one substance, I think we do a 7-panel test. I think that's where we are. There's 14 panel tests, but we do a 7-panel test. Those are things that we just didn't think we needed to specify.
We can always add something later on, but we have
We can amend it.
discretion to do that. It's broad enough that we can.
Okay.
I think that would be, in my opinion, extremely cost prohibitive.
So
Yeah,
are they, the testing that we do now, is it expensive?
It's not cost prohibitive, but it's expensive.
I have a company I work with, I'll let you know afterwards, that does a really good job.
And this company's been excellent to work with, very professional, well-trained, but again, it's money, so we do recommend that you approve this.
Okay. So I need a motion to approve the second reading of the JFGA. I have a motion from Jenny.
Second.
I have a second in stereo. So, take your pick. Fantastic. We've already had discussion. Any more discussion? None? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Motion carries. The next thing is we need to action item F to approve the Rocky Mountain Power easement as described. Are we comfortable with that, gentlemen? Or do we need to table that till further clarification? Are we good? 10 foot?
If I table it, I've got it, they will not set the transponder.
Okay.
We need to move forward.
Yeah, we
Okay.
need to move
All right.
forward.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve the Rocky Mountain Power easement.
Okay, I have a motion from Dan.
Second that motion, Dan's.
I've got a second from Dave. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Okay, that takes care of all of our action items. Now, we don't need to leave the board meeting, or do we? I need a motion to...
Recess.
I need to go into a recess, but do I need to leave the board meeting before I go into recess? Okay, so I need a motion to go into recess of the regular board meeting and open the budget hearing meeting.
So moved.
But do I need to do them separate?
Separate.
Do them separate. So I need a recess, I need a motion to recess regular school board meeting.
So moved.
First, second.
First and a second, any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. So now I do need to have a motion to open the budget hearing.
So moved.
I have a motion, I have a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. We are now in your hands, Mr.
Thank you.
Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. If you remember, back in July, I said that I would come before you in September with a budget amendment, and that's why, part of the reason why we're here convening this. I do need to, if you'll indulge me, on two items. One is that we have finished the field work for the audit. We are done. U101 is done. They're still doing the BOCES audit. So we're on track right now to have the auditors come and present in the November, sounds like the November 7th meeting. I'll let them know to, hey, hold this date on that. In terms of the audit, I felt like it kind of went really well. But there is something we'll need to adjust right before that. The second thing is I just received notification, and Chairman Pearson as well, that we are going to be audited by the state. Now, the financial audits that you get from the auditors are kind of a doctor wellness check. You know, how's the patient doing? The audit by the state is, they're employed by the legislature to find ways in which we have messed up, and they want to pull as much money from us to them. So I spoke with the director or the school finance audit manager. He said that they will likely be on the ground in December, January, the way that they'll move. They'll audit 4 out of the 8 components that make up the 100. We were audited in times past on all 8, so there's only 4 that really are, that can be, and so things like transportation or special ed, or experience, or something like that. They'll choose 4 out of the 8, and we'll go from there. So those are the things. Okay. If you notice that I sent a memo out to you this last week, requesting that we also do an amendment of the amendment for the 22-23 budget. So the question that I'm sure many of you are thinking, well, why the need? I thought we did it. And in June 2023, I start making adjustments in preparation for the audit, and one of the things is I have to adjust balance sheet accounts. And one of the ways that we do that is we find out, okay, how much is the liability, and then we push that into what's called the statement of revenues and expenditures. And there's sometimes budget implications on that. With one of these, and it was a big adjustment, I reversed the signs. The debits were the credits were the debits, and so I messed up on that. And so when I presented the budget amendments to you back in July, it's like it's not sufficient. As we were working through the audit in August with the auditors, they caught the error, and I realized, hey, wait a minute, this is, we got to make sure we re-amend the budget. So, in short, I need to adjust some budget lines. And in that memo, you see that these lines are affected, the previously stated, and we need to amend that. I've run these numbers to the auditors. They're fully aware of this whole conversation. They are aware of the numbers, and they have vouched that, yes, we'll be fine with that. But I apologize for that. So, as part of the budget hearing, we need to ask questions of the board and the audience. I mean, do you have any questions on my request for the changes? With no changes, I respectfully request that you amend the amendment as presented. Okay.
So, discussion items A has been completed. Now we need to open it back up to public comment. So if there's any comments from the public about the amendment to the amendment, before the second amendment, third amendment, fourth amendment. So, I better clarify that again. That second amendment came out a little fast. So. Then it hit me. So, no public comments, then we'll go into our action items. So I need a motion to approve the fiscal year 2023-2024 budget amendments as presented.
2022-2023.
So it's wrong inside my...
I did that.
It is wrong.
22, 23, yeah.
Yeah, so we need to go 22-23.
Yeah.
Thank you for catching that. Sorry.
Yep, no worries.
So, on the action items, I need a motion to approve the fiscal year 2022 and 2023. I wrote it down even wrong. So, budget amendments.
So moved.
I have a motion and I have a second. Any discussions? None? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Jeez. The timing's just not right, that coming through the way it does. So, yeah, so I'm assuming that you're in favor of it, Joel, and not opposed.
I'm doing the best I can here, Dave.
I know, I appreciate it. So, ayes have it, motion carries.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, like I said, what I presented in July was a balanced budget based on the 100 model and the associated revenues that we're expecting. However, as you well know, we are in the midst of projects galore and things, and so we're going to need, why the need? Well, we're going to need to add some things that are in addition. And for instance, we've got the transportation lifts. Those will be reimbursed a year from now by the state. There's E-rate. What is E-rate? It's a federal government program in which they add money for technology, internet access, and things. That just came in yesterday to my office and things. Athletic domes, those will be funded from fund balance. And so we're going to gross them up, these budgets up, basically increase them. Okay? In some cases, not all of them, the amendments come with some revenue budgets that will also adjust. And then at the end of the year, in June or July, somewhere around there, we'll amend, kind of like we do in the past. So here are the proposed amendments. Transportation bus list, we talked about that this evening for $505,000. Then domes, the budget right now that I've received from Jaron is set at $2.3 million. The bleachers have been put in this last month, so they need a budget against that. The general fund wireless access, you see that there are two of them. One is a revenue and one's an expenditure. That's coming from E-rate funds, so it's a no cost to us. The BOCES has come to us and said we would like to contribute for the after-school iPads, and basically we would own those iPads, but they're going to be giving us $18,000 on that. And then there's some capital funds for the locker rooms that has come in. It's kind of the tailing end of that. So does anyone have any questions on any of these? And so basically I'm just going to hit those budgets. You'll see that in the board reports. Those amounts will be amended up.
Okay.
And things, so. Okay.
So we have no action items to go with these proposed amendments at this time then?
Well,
we just passed it, didn't we?
Well, we just
I think we just-
approved it, I know, but then now you're going back through some other stuff. We approved the amendment.
223.
22, 23,
okay.
so.
24.
Okay.
So we do need a vote.
We,
Yeah, that's what I'm
I would-
saying. So we do need to have an action item B, which is going to be amendment to our agenda. Correct?
Yes, probably what we should do is it should be amendment A, because we did have the 23, 24 already on there. It needed to be the 22, 23.
Yes,
That
so-
would make it accurate.
So we already voted on that, which would be action item B that we voted on. So we action item B, we approve the amendment to the budget for 22 to 23. Now we are going to take an action item which is already on. So what I need is I need a motion to change the agenda or add to the agenda action item B in the budget hearing. So I guess what I need is I need a motion to approve action item B in the budget hearing.
So,
Second. Stereo again.
Yes, so in stereo, so live in stereo. Any discussion?
Clear as mud?
Clear as mud. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. So, now we can continue, I am sorry.
Oh, you're fine.
Because we needed to have that.
No,
in there
that's
For
fine.
clarification, so, awesome. Okay.
You can approve it.
now we need to approve. what
Oh, now we
have
need to approve it. So you're done? You're done with us?
I request that you approve the
Okay. No, okay.
budget amendments for 23, 24.
So we now have action item A, which is the approval of the fiscal year 23-24 budget amendments.
Second.
So I have a motion and I have a second. Any discussion? None? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Nothing. Crickets. Ayes have it, motion carries.
Thank you.
No, thank you. John, you do a fantastic job.
Yes, sir.
So, now, jumping through hoops still, I need a motion to adjourn the budget hearing.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion from Brian, second from Jenny. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. We have now left the budget hearing. Now I need a motion to reconvene the regular school board meeting.
So moved.
I have a
Second that motion?
I have a motion and I have a second. Any discussion? No discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. We are now back into our regularly scheduled board meeting. Now we can jump into board roundtable. So board, do we have any things that we would like to discuss in front of the public at this time?
I'm good.
General Peters, I have one thing, just to kind of set the date for you. October 12th, there'll be a town hall meeting with Superintendent Degenfelter. She'll be at the Strand, I think at 6 o'clock. It's kind of a question and answer opportunity for all of us. We will be proposing one question to her, and it's kind of neat that she's coming to our community, so I hope a lot of people show up.
And we're moving the board meeting to, oh, that's November, we're moving it to the 7th, but we should have our board meeting the first Tuesday in October anyway. Second
We
Tuesday.
moved to the second.
Oh, we have moved to the 2nd. That was you.
No, it was not. I just agreed that I would be okay with
Oh,
it.
you'd be okay with it? Okay, all right, so we are on the 2nd.
Yeah.
I'm still living in the past, so. Any other discussion at all, roundtable? No?
I just want to say you guys made a really good choice for Teacher of the Year. I got to spend time with David at Teton Science School, and he is just amazing with the kids. He's a really excellent teacher to be around, so.
Fantastic. So, if there's no other discussion or roundtable items,
I move we adjourn, Mr. Chairman.
I have a motion to adjourn by Dave, I have a second by Brian. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Fastest board meeting I've ever had. 1 hour and 17 minutes.
With the budget hearing.
With the budget hearing included in there, so.
Who are you and what have you done with me?
What are you done with Dave?